Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Bhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grananti Ye Bhurida Janaha Bhuvi Grananti Ye Bhurida Janaha. In the company of the devotees, we saw yesterday what devotees means. Bhagavane Anurag, Jogate Virag. Dispassion towards the world and passionate attachment for God is called devotion. And a devotee who has given his all to God does all the duties of his life perfectly with diligence and dedication and offers it as a worship unto God. He doesn't shrink from any duties, shirk off his responsibilities never, or hesitate to be with the world and the other companions, because God is enshrined within him and without him. He struggles to see the divine everywhere in all beings, because the world is a part inseparable from God and manifestation of his own power, his Shakti. So we see him totally giving himself to God and working in the world. Body, mind is working, his soul is in the company of God. So this is the devotee, and these devotees are there now with Sri Ramakrishna. The devotees and the master sang and danced in the state of divine fervor. We saw yesterday in what state a person dances in ecstasy, in joy. The one thing that these people while dancing is experiencing is the fall off of the world. Oh, this world has gone away from me. All attraction for the world has gone away from me. The Lord is holding my hand. Lord has taken my responsibility. I am without any fear and anxiety. Practice of fearlessness, or we call it de-learning fear. We have learnt from childhood, we have been taught and we have learnt to be fearful. Everything frightens us. Nature herself makes that fear. You can see the birds, this, that, all insects, animals, anything coming, they run away. So any power which is higher than them, slightest degree also, it cannot bear. It runs away. The fear all the time. How the insects and animals will be watching around out of fear. So a man becomes absolutely fearless only after realizing God. This fearlessness, what these people in dancing in the company of the Master is experiencing, is because of their trust in the Master. They might not have realized God, but they have tremendous trust. He is there for us forever. They have seen, experienced His concern and known Him to be the Supreme One. When we offer Arghya to a Devata, each time, daily when you people do worship in the shrine or in the room, first thing you do is to offer the Arghya. Arghya offering is acceptance of the absolute supremacy of that Devata. He is Brahman. You are Brahman, you are the Supreme. To you, all my what I am and what I have, I am offering. This is Arghya. Surya Arghya and all Arghyas we give. So Arghya is acceptance of the absolute supremacy of the Lord. So that absolute supremacy acceptance in Sri Ramakrishna, they have not realized, but they have accepted that, and that acceptance is giving them total trust and faith in Him. He is there and they are carefree. Oh, like a child in the presence of mother. Oh, it has nothing to worry. And mother is a beggar, doesn't matter. Her children are the richest people in the world because their mother is there. Just a mother gives that confidence. She is there to feed me and she doesn't have anything. Yet, that child doesn't believe anybody. All are having plenty of money. That child doesn't believe. All have tremendous power. Police, this, that. Army is there. Military is there. It doesn't trust anybody. Mother, who cannot even face one cockroach, is there. Who doesn't have education, who doesn't have money. That child, beggar's child, is the richest and the strongest in the world because its mother is there. So this here, it is through experience. If that child can, the same childhood, what that child is, that mother is to that child, is Sri Ramakrishna to these people. And there it is, though ignorance is there, the trust is there, here it is wisdom and the concern the Master is showing, the love he is pouring, his sacrifice, his purity, his not going against the world any time. All this collectively make them trust the Master. So that's what we see. Most of the people don't understand how to trust in God. That's why what they ultimately do is to go to a place which is not meant for them, take up a profession which is not their life, and do sadhana which is not their path. If you don't trust God, this is what's going to happen. Hold trust for everything you have to pray and act. Otherwise, what we do is this. That which is not my life, I am going to take up that life. God makes all arrangements and takes you, but your intelligence and vasanas and karma, karmic load, takes you unless you surrender there to the Lord. I don't know anything, you take me in the right path. Keep me in the right place. That humility, that absence of ego, that is necessary to go in the right path and take up the right life. Buddha's important teachings you see, there are 8 steps, 8 types of life, perfect life, samyak, 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 samyak jivana, samyak dhyana, All this when you see samyak, which is meant for me. Each one has his own path, each has his own, but it should not be born of ignorance and desires. We will not understand ourselves most of the times. So, dependence on God is most important. Show me the path. I am in darkness, all doors are closed for me. Open my path and give me. Someday you will see. The more you trust, the more you depend, the door opens. You see the light, the non-material light of Chaitanya consciousness flowing towards you, taking you towards the perfection. So this is what we have to do. The duties and responsibilities of devotee and what is the state of devotee, I am trying to make you understand. So here, dancing means what? And singing and Gloria and dancing with God. Sri Ramakrishna is there. Master Mahashai, first day itself, when he comes and sees, he says, as if all the tirthas, the sacred things in the world have joined together. All tirthas have come together, and Shuka is explaining Bhagavata as if the whole scene, and nature is participating fully. Means, look at the understanding what each one may be having about Sri Ramakrishna and the whole thing which is going on there. So they, in the heart of heart, without any reason, without any proof, without any credential, totally accepting Sri Ramakrishna as the divine, as a divine being. He is divinity manifest. He is God. Some inner voice tells, He is God, He is God. So this inner voice, they don't even know. He is making them, He is driving them to trust and be a devotee. And the devotee is forever. Not 2 days devotion and withdrawing when misfortunes fall. What is this God? Many people ask this question. If God is there, why there is suffering? The answer is, because God is there, there is suffering. Not. In one Bengal newspaper, they brought and showed in the training center. In spite of teachers, the students are taking marks, was written on that. In spite of, because of teachers they must get. In spite of teachers, the students are getting marks. It must be because of teachers, the students get. In spite of, means they are obstruction for the children. Though teachers are there, still they are getting, you see, marks. So like that, because God is there, there is a law, there is an order. Everything is going on perfect order, and we are part of it. Several of them were in ecstatic mood. Imagine, when this state will come in our life, we do not know. We are in ecstasy, we are unaware of where we are, what we are. They are in ecstatic state. We see in history, only in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life and some of the saints' lives, they are dancing and singing and unaware of the external world, unaware of the people looking at them, or unconcerned about the world. They are in ecstatic love of God. They are in ecstatic dance. Ecstatic means where they have forgotten place, time, who they are, where they are. So this in a thought of the divine, many we see like poets like Wordsworth and all in English, other poets like our Sanskrit, Kalidasa and all these people, they used to be ecstatic state seeing the nature. Wordsworth also. He will be seeing the nature, he would enter into ecstasy. Forget the body and look at the nature. Look at the beauty of the nature. But here it is in the awareness of the divine, not the awareness of the nature. Nature itself, if it can capture you and make you forget yourself, what would be, how beautiful it would be. And here we see in the awareness of the divine, they are forgetting everything. Their own existence they are forgetting. This is ecstatic state, ecstasy. Something like samadhi. We often call it bhava samadhi. Some of them, several of them, several of them were in ecstatic mood. Mood means bhava. Bhavana, bhava. Bhava is mood. That is, when the intellect, reasoning, why it is happening, how it is happening, this reasoning, intellect, mind, which is receiving the information brought by senses, mind, and all senses that are perceiving, hearing, seeing and all, these have merged in the heart, and merged in the heart, they are looking at the divine, then it is called mood. He is in fine mood. Here, the not general mood, he is moody person, not that mood. Now and then his mood will be changing. No, not this mood of the general term we use. Here when we use the mood, ecstatic mood, it is the mergence of my all other layers of existence in heart. Heart is giving the bhava. This bhava is called mood here. Mental states are also called mood in English. But bhava doesn't belong to the mental states. It belongs to the feeling heart. Bhava is of the heart. And in English, the usual term, mood is of the mental states. I am out of mood. Mental states. Here, and when the term ecstatic is used, it specifically mentions its emotions. Morning I was telling someone about the emotions. There is fundamental emotion in us, the spiritual emotion, which is trying to express itself in various ways. It is struggling inside to express. It is pure divine love that is trying to express itself. Wherever it finds some amount of divinity, small amount of divinity also, it pours the love. And that love is called Vatsalya. So that there is a kind of transcendental purity manifesting in that love, divine love. It is not ordinary preeti or sneha, it is prema. It is innermost, it is called fundamental emotion of a living being, especially of man. In every human, there is the fundamental emotion which manifests as pure divine love. And it can be focused wherever it gets focused. It is trying to express, expand and flow out. Wherever it sees a little divinity also, it runs. Oh, there is purity, there is divinity. That emotion, not the ordinary feeling emotion. I am feeling loneliness. These emotions, he has gone away from me. My child is there in far off country. I have not seen even in what you call WhatsApp. All these are emotions are different. It is on the surface. It appears and disappears. Here it is deep within. It is struggling to express like a seed put in the earth and watered. It struggles to that weight of the hard earth. It wants to break and come out. So soft and tender shoot. Germination. If you touch it, will break. That germination pushes the earth and comes out. So that emotion from the deep within, the nature has placed, and that is the power which makes us to go towards God ultimately. Here and there, wherever there is divinity, wherever there is purity, wherever Harikatha is going on, he will run and try to hear there. Wherever some bhajan is going on, he is running. Because there are small amount of light of consciousness, light of divinity, light of purity, there it starts going. Ultimately, like rainwater, trying to go here, there, join little by little and make a small stream and then a river and ultimately reach the ocean. Like that, it turns out to be the pure devotion, pure love of God, ecstatic love of God, and reach the divine, supreme, the God. So that which is associated with the heart. Here the mood immediately you must understand. Brain, intellect has merged in heart, senses are merged in heart, mind is merged in heart. And heart is trying to express, and it is utilizing the external pranas also. There is internal prana, energy from the consciousness, forcing it out. And here, that's why they are dancing. So because of the ecstatic mood. Several of them were in ecstatic mood. Nitya Gopal just glowed with the upsurge of emotion. Rakhal lay on the floor in ecstasy, completely unconscious of the world. We will never see this state. Perhaps we may not see in our life at all. Even if you see once a person in samadhi, it would be a great thing. In my life, I could see a few, sometime rarely, in the state of samadhi and in state of ecstasy. But it is very difficult for a normal, we don't commonly, it is almost impossible. We can see people sleeping nicely, but not in super conscious state. That is the thing. But you see, for Sri Ramakrishna to go into ecstasy, samadhi, muhur, time and again, every day, many times he goes and comes to the other side of this world, universe. And for these people, they have just come. Rakhal, he is 18, 19 years. He is just there in front of the master. These are just incomers. And And you see, he got married also. And he is there with the master and experiencing this. He is totally unconscious. Imagine to be unconscious, totally unconscious in coma state, like unconscious in thought of God. What love it could be. How many lives of struggle. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, these few are Ishwar Kotis. And Rakhal, one who was unconscious, was a playmate of Krishna. Otherwise it is impossible. In one life we may not experience this state at all. But we must struggle and know there is a state, and anybody, any of us, any of you, any human can enter into that state. And saints, we have seen, have the historical records that they have entered into these states. And often they used to enter into these states. Tukaram or any saint you can see, now and then going into the temple and they are unaware of even Purandaradasas and Kanakadasa. Seeing the image of the Lord, their whole body becomes still, mind becomes still. Nothing works. Inside they are separated from the whole bodily existence and are in joy, in company of the Lord. They are dancing and joy. Body is still. So this is the body alone is in still state, unconscious. Inside, the consciousness is glowing in the consciousness of God. He is fully conscious to God and is unconscious to the world. Here unconsciousness is not the unconscious medical unconsciousness. This is spiritual unconsciousness, where inner consciousness is glowing with the full presence of, excessive presence of God. Nityagopal just glowed with upsurge of emotion. When there is upsurge, just like people flush when they feel shy. Blushing also. Yes. Blushing also. Heart flushes, flush. Blushing also. In shyness they blush. In excessive emotions they flush out heat and this one. The skin becomes red, crimson red. The whole thing gets crimson red. Can you imagine? If you beat also, people's skin will not become red so properly. But in emotion, it becomes. So that he is having. Many people, Sri Ramakrishna says, when some person is doing Sandhya Vandana, his emotions, his whole chest is to become crimson red. That is what we see, the entering into the state of ecstasy. Emotions are so powerful. Then that is what we see or they look so ordinary schoolboys, but they are in such a high state of existence. Little by little, when people speak high about the Advaita and all, but they are there itself where they are. I feel, where are they? They are speaking so high things, and their life and their existence is so ordinary level, and the thoughts are of the Advaitic. Bring it in life, bring it in life. Advaita means it includes everything. One of the direct disciples, even Swamiji, used to ask this question. You speak about Advaita, are you able to love your neighbor, one who is sitting by your side? What Advaita are you practicing? You are not feeling oneness with the person who is sitting by your side, and you are speaking of Advaita. Advaita means you are expanded to embrace the whole world. You are one with the entire world, one with all beings, one with Mother Nature. That is Advaita. You cannot find any separation. You have nothing to comment. You have nothing to say. You see your bodily existence separate, but nothing in the world separate from you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.